there are a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners in this Abraham crowd, and I'm definitely one of them. And how do we take the advice that you give, and how do we take like myself personally, how do I take my business to a level of financial and creative success as big as Richard Branson's Virgin or Steve Jobs of Apple? Now, I mean that in the sense of big meaning the ability to take my big ideas and to make them happen.
Well, you're on the right track already when you put the emphasis on the idea. Because if the idea is satisfying to you, it's we offer this analogy, and we think it's such a good one, and so often our physical friends don't quite hear it in the way that we mean it, but it really applies here, so we're going to go for it again. And that is, when you're on a journey to some place more pleasing to you that you want to be, most of the time that you are on your journey, you're not there. And yet the idea of moving toward it makes wherever you are a pleasing experience. Okay. So it's about that. It's about recognizing that you're not ever going to get to where you're going, because as fast as you get there, there's going to be something else that you want that is out there. So you might as well just start being really incredibly satisfied and appreciative and blessed and worthy. You want to use the word fortunate. You want to acknowledge how fortunate you are about where you are. You want to praise yourself about all the distance that you've traveled to be here, and you want to feel appreciation for all of the components that are there with you now, and eagerness about how much more is coming. It's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes when we ask you to look off into the future, it distracts you from what's going on. And if what's going on is good, then give it your undivided attention. Count your blessings among the components of it. And if there's more that you want, then use your ability to imagine.
Yeah, I always want these really big things out of my life, and a lot of times I've been very fortunate to have had a lot of things come to me.
When you ask yourself why you want it, in other words, do you want it? We're just going to put some questions to you.
Sure.
So let's say that you are reaching for something that will bring a lot of human recognition to you.
Right.
People are going to stand up and take notice when they see it. And they're going to be pleased with what they see. And as they hold you as their object of attention, you're going to feel their pleasure at your accomplishment.
Right.
So is that the basis of accomplishment that inspires you? Or are your own rockets and subsequent aligning with them enough for you?
I think originally it was the earlier stuff, and now, of course, through you, it's definitely the rockets.
Because if you can realize that it, and so if you want a little and line up with it, there you are. And then, but you can't stay there more than for a moment, because now you've got this new vantage point with new contrast that's going to cause you to reach further. And so you can get into this rhythm where life excitingly causes you to reach beyond where you are. And because you're already whole, because you already acknowledge that you can be or do or have anything that you want, there is nothing off limits. There is nothing depriving you of anything that you want. It's just a matter of you identifying it and allowing the universe to yield it to you through the path of least resistance. So now it becomes a life process of eagerly sifting for the express purpose of finding something that is beyond where you are, so that you can have the exhilarating experience of moving from where you are to that, you see. Right. Not for the experience of accomplishing it so that you can stand back and shine a spotlight on it and others can revere you in your greatness as they compare you to their greatness or less than greatness, but because the movement of the energy is what life itself is. So then, here you are in this physical body, knowing that there is potential for so much more, and yet you are perfect where you stand. Wrap your thoughts around that. You are going to be so much more, but that does not make you lacking at all where you are. You're right on the path, right where you want to be, right where you are meant to be, right where you are perfect to be. So here you stand, And contrast is inspiring you to something beyond the current manifestations. Not beyond your ability to imagine, not beyond your ability to expect, but beyond your current manifestations. So what? You don't want all the manifestations anyway. Do you want all the food that you're ever going to eat in this lifetime to be delivered to you today? You really don't.
No.
You want it to come steadily, and you want it to be good, and you want it to constantly improve, and you want it to surprise and delight you, but you don't want it all today, and you don't want all of the life experiences to come today either. So here you stand in your perfect knowing, in an environment that's inspiring you to constant new heights, constant new places that you haven't yet accomplished. And we're not just talking about manifested places. We're talking about emotional places, the ability to think and want beyond where you are. And so there it is. And oh, bless this moment, because I know I went further than I've ever been because it hurt. I know I went further than I've ever been because it is uncomfortable. I've reached to a new place. And my discomfort is my evidence that I am expanding. Okay. But my expansion doesn't hurt me anymore, and more than for just a moment, because I want something that I can't for the life of me figure out how to accomplish. But the fact that I want it, and my knowledge of the laws, my knowledge of the laws of the universe, my knowledge of my worthiness, my knowledge makes me know I can expect this. So now I can launch a desire and expect it instantaneously. That's how you felt when you got here. That's what made Esther get up on the barn. In other words, there's more, 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 there's always more. And now I'm resting in that eagerness of knowing that there's always going to be something more for me to want. And the best feeling in the world is to know I reached beyond where I am because I can't see a path, and it annoys me. So I step back from not being able to see the path, and I remember there always is a path. All I have to do is chill out and it'll light up a little more. It's always fun on the path. It's why I came. I didn't come to get it done, because it never gets done. I didn't come to get it right, because nobody's making those judgments. I came for constant expansion because it feels so good. It feels so good. Something to want. Something to want. Something to want. I have no clue how to get it. Damn. Something to want. New into the universe. Certainly new to me. Something to want. How am I going to get it? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been here before. Never felt like this before. Feels good. I can feel the expansion of the universe. I can feel Source within me. Oh, I'm starting to get a feeling of how Source feels about this. They're excited about it. They don't have any rent to pay.
Right, yeah. Thank you. And I just have a real quick one about technology. And this kind of came to me the other night, but can technology, will it ever, it's technology is itself seeming to get smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter. Is technology evolving to the point where it actually can be conscious itself?
Consciousness is expanding. Your question indicates an unintentional limitation that you're placing on consciousness. In other words, if you call technology consciousness, because every thought that's ever been thought still exists.
Right.
And so, can technology expand beyond human intention?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like the Earth spins in its orbit beyond human awareness. So, in the same way that your Earth is spinning in its orbit in ways that man can barely even describe, let alone comprehend or accomplish,
right.
technology has the attention of source upon it too.
Okay. Okay. That's perfect. Thank you so much.
There is a momentum that has always been and will always be. And humans are not the only thinkers about the well-being of this planet. Mm-hmm. So source takes the contrast that humans are living, and those geniuses who are involved in technology are putting all kinds of things into a vortex that they are not yet reaping the benefit of, because they're asking for things not imagined, and they're asking for things not understood, and they're asking for things that they're vibrationally not up to speed with. But source is vibrationally up to speed with them and focused upon them. And when those breakthroughs happen, when every now and again a Steve Jobs or a somebody like him who has the ability to stay general enough to believe in the process even though he doesn't have the details of it, creates a nucleus or an environment that is supportive of that motion forward, and then source, through the path of least resistance, finds an outlet for you to experience the benefit of your collective desires. So what you're really talking about here is there a vortex of collective desires that's bigger than any one of our ability to imagine it? We say, yeah. That's what man wants to call God.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Take care.
Good time for a segment of refreshment.